Hello, and yeah, welcome to this quick little introduction to JavaScript. My name's James. Yeah, before we get started, let's make sure we're set up. So for this tutorial, we're going to need two things. We're going to need Node and VS Code set up. Actually, we don't even need these. I'm going to give you a second option if you can't get this figured out, but let me show you how to do this. So first of all, come into Node. Now you're going to want to download this version, the LTS version. This is going to be the more stable version. So go ahead and download that. I already had that downloaded, so you'll just click on that, it'll download, and then you can add that. The next thing you're going to want to add is VS Code. So just go to that link for Visual Studio Code, go to the download, and go ahead and download whichever one you want. All right. So, and I'll go ahead and close out VS Code just so I can kind of show you how we get here. So go ahead and open up VS Code. Now for this, you're going to navigate to a folder where you want this to live. So you could go into your desktop, you could create a new folder, you could call this, like JS demo or intro to JS, whatever you want to call it. And then when you open up VS Code, you can just go ahead and open up that, find that folder where it is, and then go ahead and open that up. Now I have it in somewhere else. I'm actually going to go, I have it this lecture in a different spot, so I'm going to go there. All right. So for this, I'm also going to use the integrated terminal in VS Code just so I don't have to switch around between screens. You can do the same thing as well. And to open this up, we're going to go to Terminal and New Terminal. That opens up this terminal. You can also do Control-Tick to collapse and expand that. Now, a couple of things with terminal before we get started. So this terminal is a way to access the directories in your file. It's a very powerful tool. There's a lot of commands, but some basic ones we might want to look at is, change directory. So this allows us to actually move in and out of directories. So I can do a print working directory as well. This kind of shows me where I'm at. See, I'm located in my users, James Yates directory in my desktop, in the SKU, my JavaScript, and lesson 1. So if I do a cd dot, that's actually going to take me back a directory. And I can do an ls, and ls is going to list the directories, the contents. I can also do a cd into the name of the directory. So I want to go back into lesson 1. Do a print working directory. That puts me there. I can also do a touch. This is going to create a file. So I could create a file called, let's just call it demo.js. So now I have a file demo.js in here. I can also make a directory. Now if I do an ls, now I have a directory called testjo, and I can cd into that. Or I could cd back to stay in this lesson 1. I can also use VS Code here, and I could just come in here, and you can do this as well, do a new file. And we're gonna want a file just called demo.js. You can also delete stuff in here. But as you get going on through your coding, you're gonna want to get maybe a little more comfortable with terminal. So go ahead, and I'll just delete this. But go ahead, create a file called demo.js. Because this is what we're going to want to run. And this is going to be our first lesson, is just on the console and how to run a program. So I'm going to do console.log hello. And now I can do a node, and then I'm going to give it the name of this file, demo.js. Now it didn't do anything. Now there's a couple things here. When we run VS Code, we want to make sure we save the changes. I see this little dot here. That means it's not saved. So I need to do a Command S. Now that dot's gone. Now I can see this hello message. So with JavaScript, I can do addition. We're going to do a lot of these things, but I come in here, I can come make a change. I can now run my file. There we go. If that's not working, you need to make sure when you do an ls that that file is in this folder. So you might be in the wrong directory. So you do a print working. For example, let me just cd back. So now if I do a print working directory, I'm no longer in this lesson 1 folder. So I can't do a node demo.js because it's not in there. So I need to find where that is. Well, it's in this lesson 1 directory. And now I can run it in here. Now, if this is just not working for you and you're having a hard time with the VS Code, with the node or navigating, there is a fallback option. You can come to this website right here, repel.it. This is an online editor where we can come in here. You can select this index.js. We can run this. And we can go ahead and make changes in here. Now it can be a little slower, but you can fork this. Forking just means you copy it. So I could come in here and fork it, get my own copy of it, and now you can run it. Or you can just create your own. This might be easier if you just go to create, search for node. And this allows you to do the same thing. We can come in here and type some JavaScript. And then we can run that in the console. And there it goes. Cool. So that's just a little intro on how to get started. The tools, like I said, if you can't get Node and VS Code, you can always fall back on to this REPL IT and follow along with this. All right, thank you.